What up, y'all? It's your girl, Lady T Marie with It's a Chicago Vibe. And today is a very deep topic, and it's a subject that needs to be talked about, not just in Chicago, but throughout America, throughout the world. Justice for us. Stay tuned.
DJ Mr. Success.
It's a Chicago Vibe, now streaming on all platforms, wherever you get your podcasts. From Lady T Marie and yours truly, Mr. Success. All right, everybody, welcome back to It's a Chicago Vibe with me,
Mr. Success,
and Lady T. And Milton's out again today this week, but he'll be back with us soon. Kind of tied up at work and stuff, but on today's episode, we're talking and discussing a lot of things going on around the world here in 2024, and one of the topics is the young lady Sonya downstate Illinois here. I think it's called Sangamon County,
Yeah, it's Springfield, Illinois.
Down in Springfield. Yeah, that's Sangamon County, yep. And it's just a sad incident. When will we get a break, I just want to say this, and I'm going to hand you the mic, because I say this in all the cases. If you fear for your life that bad, a police officer is the wrong job for you. I'm just here to tell you. You need to be a dog walker. Librarian's a good job, safe job. I mean, if you fear for your life at a pot of water boiling on the stove, you do not need to be in law enforcement. I'm just sorry to say it. I mean, I know it's a tough job, and it is a lot of great officers, but it's always that one or two in anything you in, whether that's law enforcement, being black, anything. It's that the one or two people will make a whole group of people look bad, and I'm not bashing the police officers. I'm bashing those who are cowards, basically. I mean, how you feel pot of water? I mean, you got a taser on your hip. What's wrong with tasing somebody nowadays? Your first reaction is to shoot everybody, a woman that you 3 times bigger than. That's your first reaction over a pot of water. I'm going to hand the mic over to you, Lady T, real quick, because this is sad.
Yeah, I definitely want to, I was really compelled to want to do the story. We really didn't know what we was going to talk about on today's show, to be honest with you guys, but I just felt, it was necessary. And I'm not one to watch the news, but I happened to stumble across it on Google, and I happened to watch a video, and I'm like, and I had to watch it again and again to really see if this is real or is this a skit, or I was confused. And so a few days later, after me watching it, I had prayed and I had fasted. It affected me so that I couldn't even sleep, as if it was me, or my family member. And one of the things that I heard a lot of people, lot of people talk about the story and say, the church needs to step up and do this, to do that, and people need to step up, and that's true. We all need to step up. I first want to give my condolences to Sonya, and to her family, to all her friends. I did a lot of research about her to see that she was really loved in her community. Her people really loved her, and she had a really good spirit, and you could definitely tell that she loved God. But one of the things that stood out to me was and is that she was not a threat, to the officer who took her life. I don't even want to say his name, and I'm not going to say his name. And I don't have any hate towards him, and I see that even the family don't have any hate towards him, but they really just want justice. And one of the things that really stood out to me was that the hate that rose up in him when she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." That's something that the news really is not really shedding light on. And that's why we have this platform right here to kind of shed light on what's really going on. And what's really going on is we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities in high places, And so you got to look at this not as a white and a black thing, not as a police officer, and that you got to look at this is that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. That's his whole purpose, agenda. He gonna use whoever is usable to get the job done. If you could be used, if your mama could be used, your cousin could be used, your uncle could be used, guess what? He's going to use you. And so I didn't see a black and a white. I didn't see a police thing and a black thing. It's beyond color. We it's beyond color, and it's been beyond color, and a lot of times the enemy will use certain things to bring division, to bring hatred, and God we know is the God of love. And so again, my condolences to Sonya. And so in seeing that, it just did something in my spirit that it almost is like modern day persecution. It's not almost, it is modern day persecution. And it's just to see that, it's just like we see it over and over and over again. We seen it with the Sandra Bland, we seen it with Emmett Till, we done seen it with Dr. King. You know what I'm saying? We done seen it over and over again play out in different forms. The hate. All I will say is to the people, and I want to get deeper into it, but I'm only gonna be led by the Spirit of God because it's fresh and I don't really want to offend anyone. But one thing I will say is that we in an hour and a time now that we gotta stay prayed up, like for real. You know what I'm saying? We gotta stay standing before God one day. Everybody gotta stand before God one day, whatever religion you believe in. You have to stand before God, and you will be judged according to your works. That's for sure. But in that, while we here, while we on earth, all God really requires from us is just to love one another. Because if we could stay every day and pray to a God whom we've never seen ever, and we could pray to him and love him, and even some religions will even kill for him, for their God, not the God that we serve, but their God. If we can do all that, why is it we can't show the love of God? What something that he requires for us is a commandment that he requires for us to love. And with that situation, I'm gonna touch back on it with the officer. What I see is that I feel bad for him, even though we want to point the finger and be like, "Oh my God," burn him, destroy him. I really feel bad that we got to look at both sides. That he probably have a family that's confused, just as well as the other family. Not saying I'm not justifying what he did, that he's not wrong, but my prayer is that he find God, because God don't desire that no man shall perish, or no man shall, go to hell. But when you do wrong in this body, you will be held accountable for your actions. So my prayer is that he get it right. My prayer is that forgiveness, from the looks of the family, they are forgiving family, and that they won't have any type of, nobody will have any type of hatred in their heart, but can still show the love of God. And that in this situation, that somebody could be delivered, healed, somebody could be set free, and that we could come together and not saying that we're gonna come together and sing kumbaya, but at some point we gotta have some type of empathy and compassion. But I will say also, what's in you will come out of you. Whatever's in you, if hatred is in you, hatred will come out of you. I don't the part that behooves me is that I don't understand the part where you were that intimidated, you were that, you know what I mean? I can't even find the words to say. You were that bothered because she said, "I rebuke you."
What it was, I'm gonna just tell you like this here, and I don't care who I offend, because I'm gonna start this off by saying this: everything was built for good, but like you say, Evil is just evil. Evil do its job.
Yes.
Just by looking at the tattoo on that man's arm, you can see that he's white supremacist. Some of the symbols on his arm, and the part that stood out to me is when the father got up there and said, when they first told him his daughter was dead, that they tried to say a neighbor did it. Now that stood out to me real big
Wow.
because the name of this show is When Will There Be Justice for Us? Now that
Yes.
cop, they done got up in there that they arrested. He has been to 5 different police. He worked for 5 different police jobs. He was released from other jobs, but you could get another job when you do something wrong. I want to see, Kamala Harris. She's running for president and now and stuff. There, she has the power to do this even before she get president. Investigate this guy trail record. I want to see how many other people he done framed for murders. They were about to pin a murder on an innocent neighbor, but he forgot his body camera was on. Now that's what stood out to me. I want to know
Mm,
exactly how many people he actually have framed.
mm,
People he done locked up for murders or accused, just crimes, period, and stuff like that.
yes.
That's what's standing out to me. When are these so-called leaders that want our vote going to step up and do real investigations like that? Because this go deeper. This go back to Dr. Martin Luther
Absolutely.
King, the real reason Black Wall Street and stuff failed and stuff like that. People,
Mhm.
how did Dr. King get funded for all that? It was the Black-owned
Yes.
businesses that funded Dr. King movement and stuff like that. The reason
Yes.
they crushed the Black-owned businesses and don't want us to never rise and get on our feet. But it's not all white people, so don't look at me like I'm racist. I'm
Right.
promoting hate. I do hate evil. I'm one of God's
Yes.
children. I
Yes.
do hate evil. I hate evil people.
Yes.
I hate what they do, and he need to get close to God while he in there. But a guy like that, I think he's just one of Satan's top demons and stuff like that. She's
Absolutely.
rebuke you in the name of Jesus. But and another thing stood out to me in that video. See, they keep taking down like long versions of the video that people
Yeah.
have. When when the other officers were telling her ID right there under it was a pile of letters or something she had. He was pointing at that. This guy pointed over at the stove, like, okay. And then they demanded her that I go turn the stove off, like, okay, this is gonna be a reason for us to shoot her. I mean, that's just how the devil
You know
thinks
what?
sometimes.
I've experienced not to that degree, but I don't know if it's that there's some officers are trained that way to kind of like provoke you in that sense. But I was living in a certain area. I don't want to say the name, but I was living in a certain area and I dealt with that. So them telling me I was cooking. It was the same thing. Like it brought that to my remembrance. Like you gonna burn the whole house down. Like turn like, and they was just trying to find little things to kind of like provoke me to get get something out of me, and I wasn't giving it to them because I knew what they were on. And I dealt with that. I dealt with. I'ma say it. I dealt when I lived in Peoria. I ain't gonna say Peoria. Yeah, Peoria, Pekin. Um, that whole Southern is racist. I dealt with a situation where I was at a laundromat and I had never dealt with racism ever in my life. And I was only black. Me and my husband at the time was in washing our clothes and in Chicago, if something happened with your clothes, they'll give you a refund or, say he get another washer. And the lady was like, I hate black bees like you. And I was like, what? Now I'm just leaving church, so the presence of God, the Holy Ghost is all over me. I ain't gonna say what I wanted to do, but she called the police and I had so many washers and dryers and I had to square my stuff out after I paid all of my money. And I was confused. And I'm like, God, what is really going on? And I recorded the situation and I tried to reach out to the NWACP, which was in Peoria. And the Lord said, vengeance is mine. And I'm like, nah, vengeance is mine. I tried to go to the TV station to report it, do a report on it, and say, I never dealt with this. And God said, vengeance is mine. Long story short, maybe 2, 3 weeks later, the same washer that messed up my clothes burnt the whole facility down. And God said, I told you vengeance is mine. So But getting back to that, I definitely, want him to want justice served, for the family, for her, for her children, for her peers. Um, I was grieved, to see that because it's spiritual. What I want people to see is that it's not about the color. It's not about colorism. It's not about black or white. It's beyond that. It's spiritual warfare, and that's what we in. It's about the enemy. Your adversary, your op is Satan. That's your only op. Your op is not your homie on the block. Your op is not the person who did something bad to you. Your op is the enemy. So that's just the picture that I wanna provoke, to let people know, you know, that it's another situation too that I want to talk about. And I was, as I was doing some research, um it's a situation that happened in Milwaukee, and I believe his name is he was a 43-year-old. His name was Samuel Sharp Jr. He was outside literally, I think it was like July 6th, July 17th, I believe. He was about to attack uh, another African American male with two knives. Now these officers, they were guarding a Republican convention, and I guess the other two guys were like in the same facility, like outside, but he was about to stab the guy, and so the officers noticed the situation, and the body cam was showing him literally running up on him, telling him, "Hey, put them knives down," because he was going to kill the other guy or stab him, whatever, and he didn't. So they literally shot him. Now, this is a whole nother situation. That situation, yes, I feel like that's what an officer is supposed to do. Yes, he was black. Both of the young men were black, but he could have killed the whole nother man. That's a situation where it's justified because he told him, look, put your knife down, stand down. He didn't do that. He continuously wanted to stab him, and kill this other young man. So they had to do what they had to do to serve and protect. That's what the police is there for, to serve and protect the community,
it I'm not just understanding how they can always apprehend white people when they got guns. White people have been shot them before, been in big
Yeah,
stuff with them, hit a few of them, and they somehow still is able to arrest them without killing
right.
them. Even in the
Yeah,
situation you just talking about in Milwaukee when he's running at the guy with a knife. What's wrong with you got a gun
taser. Yeah,
multiple rounds and not even just using the taser? If you just got to shoot, what's wrong with you taking somebody's leg out? They trained us,
right.
well, you cannot run without your legs. I mean, if he was running
Because
at the guy, you shoot the guy in the legs a couple of times, he live, he go to trial and get a punishment for it. He gonna kill in due time.
because I really
Ain't to
believe,
kill. That's what it is. Black people anyway.
because I really believe that officers, I don't quote me, but I really believe they are trained. And I've heard officers say this, they are, when they are in environments like that, they're not trained for a person to live. They're trained to kill. So I think at some point they need to be retrained. I think they need to be, all officers definitely need to be retrained. Deputies, FBI, CIA, whoever you are, need to be retrained. And
You
they need to be
know, the
mentally
CIA and FBI making mistakes like that. That's why they got a strict policy on who they hire and stuff. The
right.
regular local law enforcement that
Yeah,
basically hire anybody, except
yeah. But what I'm saying is
I
the
know what you're
whoever,
saying.
whatever type of government official that you may be, or whatever, and you're protecting and serving the public, you could be a security guard. You need to be mentally evaluated. You need to be, you know what I mean, get checked out mentally, because I feel like a lot of people deal with mental illness, and mental illness is not nothing. It's connected to a spirit. You know what I mean, which is an entity, a demon.
Yeah.
A lot of people really have demons, legions. You know what I mean, and like I said earlier, the devil only gonna use who's usable. And I'm not saying that I agree with what every officer, but what I'm saying is that was what their job description was to do, to serve and protect. They help. That's just like somebody was finna stab me, the Lord forbid, with a knife, and an officer coming. If they see them and they telling this person, look, put the knife down, at that moment, they just thinking like, oh, I gotta get this person in out of harm's way. You know what I mean? So I could understand the situation if they came into the house and their young lady was, um, harming, causing harm to somebody else, or somebody was causing harm to her, or whatever. However the story go, and they were trying to protect someone. That wasn't the case. The case was they killed, murdered an innocent person who their job description in that moment when that phone call was for them to protect and to serve her, and they failed her.
Lady T, this guy, just looking at his background, shouldn't even been a cop. He caught 2 different DUIs back in 2015 and 16. He pled guilty
Mhm.
to them, so he got a background and stuff. He was
Wow.
uh, he got kicked out the army for misconduct and stuff in Kansas. I mean, it's just a lot of things that went on that, I mean, the average person, that's what I say the difference between federal law enforcement and who they let become sheriffs and police officers. I mean,
Right.
basically let who they want. I'm quite sure if you do a family background check, he got multiple family members or know somebody that knows somebody family. That's how he got the job in the first place.
Yeah.
It's this thing called Google search. You'll be surprised. Look up the guy who got arrested for Laquan McDonald shooting here a few years ago. Look and see what he's doing now. I bet you 9 times out of 10 he's something in law enforcement again, because they
Wow.
all they do is resurface to another state and start doing the same stuff they've been doing. And like I say, these people, they want to run for politicians in office. They want our votes, but you have the power. Do a thorough investigation. And I bet you'll be surprised at how many innocent people they done put murders on. Because like I say, if them body cam videos, this happened way back on July 6th. If them body cam videos wouldn't have got leaked and people would have told about them, they had the family thinking that a neighbor did it.
Wow.
I'm wondering they were just gonna go next door and put a murder on somebody. So this is some they probably do daily, every night.
Yeah. And police officers, I'm not saying, and I'm not bashing the whole police squad. I do know officers personally, and I commend them for out here serving and protecting the good ones. But it is some bad officers that's out here that they probably was teased as a kid, or what I mean, a bully when they were children, or I don't know what the issue. Now they feel you are not above the law. Let me say that. Just because you are a badge and you have a job to do something, that is your job to serve and protect. You are not above the law if you are any type of, whether you're the president of the United States, whether you work for the CIA, whether you're a lawyer, you are not above the law. Nobody is. So we just have to, play our part. And then one thing I want to say in closing, in that I want to say the same energy that we given this case, as far as all this killing that's going on, not just in Chicago, but around this nation. We need to give these families that people that are victims, we need to give them that same energy. The same energy that we out here marching and we out here crying and saying, woe is me, and that mama that lost her kid, her 5 kids. It's people in Chicago that lost 5, 6 kids. Every neighborhood, we have a lot of senseless gun violence. And so I just want people to really, the same energy that we putting into, other people killing us. And Tupac said a lot, talked about a lot of this stuff in his rhymes. I'm not gonna bring it back up, but he said it. It's us killing us. You know what I'm saying? Beyond the police brutality, beyond the things that went on back when Emmett Till was killed for mistakenly for saying that he fake whistled at a white woman, and it come out when
That
she on her deathbed that He ain't even do none of that. You know what I'm saying? But people, we got to be accountable for our actions. You got to look at, and I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and you talking about somebody who lost a lot of people in death, and we all have, but I've lost a lot of people in death, people that have been murdered by other people, and people don't realize that when you take a life, whether whoever take a life, whether it's the officer, whether it's another, you know what I mean, a family member, whoever take a person's life, we don't understand that it does not only just affect it affects the family, it affects that person's children, and these kids. I'm talking about from experience. These kids that are affected will never ever ever see they parent again, may not ever see their mother again, may not ever see their grandmother or whoever it may be that was taken. You
And
know what I mean?
traumatized by it.
Yeah, they traumatized, and then it affects them with their schooling. You know what I'm saying? It affects them in ways where they'll never be the
Period.
same
Yeah.
because you know I mean, I never lost a parent, but I lost siblings. Both of my brothers, RIP, gone. You know what I mean? So I don't know what it's like, but I can imagine. And I seen it with my daughter's father being murdered. My daughter was 9 when I dealt with it, and then I went through trauma when a fiance of mine was murdered, when I was 18. So either way, whoever life, it's all wrong. And we need to just really just stop. Because what people don't understand is a thing called karma. What you sow, you will reap. You know what I mean? And it come back, and sometimes it come back real quick. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want your kids to have to see you spending your life in prison because you made a senseless mistake, or you allow your temper, to get the best of you. And this generation right now that we living in is something different. You can't tell this generation. I ain't talking about just the youth.
None
I'm
of
talking
them ain't learned
about
discipline.
everybody.
Yeah.
I'm talking about everybody. It's not just the youth that's killing. It's grown people, old people. It's it's the kids. It's everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna blame it just on the young people. And so at some point we gotta plant seeds. The ones that know better do better. We gotta start. If we see somebody in our hood that's trouble, you know what I'm saying? Let them know, like, look, bro, you ain't got to be a product of your environment. Change it. You know what I'm saying? Let's help change it. And not just tell them to change it, but help them. Not just show them, but be a doer of it. You know what I'm saying? Look, you need a job, fam. Look, come hit me up. Let me show you how to fill out this application. A lot of people don't even know how to fill out application or get a resume. You know what I'm saying? Help those in need. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like we need more things for these people to do. I
Yeah.
want to say shout out to you can for me partnering with them, and they had a basketball tournament for the youth. And when I tell you they had an ice cream truck, they had a truck where they could play the games. They was having tournaments, and it was no violence right there on California and California. I forgot what other street it was, but they know you. Shout out to you can, and because it's right across the street from where the court was. But everybody came out, and I seen people that I went to school, Crane School. Shout out to everybody with the Crane Manley High School on the west side of Chicago, and it was a good event. No violence, and that's how it's supposed to be. Shout out to everybody who invited my people out to be a part of that. That's what we need. We need more you cans, because I feel like if we give these young people something to do, they ain't got time to be looking for no ops.
But Lady T, you got to think they took away all that stuff, and it was purposely that way. They started back before me and you was born. They
Yeah.
started trying to divide the household up and stuff because they don't want us to grow, you know. And like you said, it ain't just the youth out there doing the senseless acts and killings. It's people my age and older. I see some of
Yeah.
my friends that's older than me still out trying to hang and do things. The only thing they doing is trying to chase a bag or the drugs and the alcohol and the party. That's what their lifestyle is about. They don't see nothing besides outside the neighborhood. They mind their attention span. And that's because a lot of people are suffering from mental health and don't even know it. You know, they
Yeah.
got diagnosed because if they don't know, go to the doctor on the regular, they don't know that they're suffering from mental health.
Yeah.
And you know, we're people, not just, I'm putting myself, you see, I'm saying a lot
Yeah.
of us are easily manipulated, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to all like the street people. We're easily manipulated, you know,
Yeah.
and we forget what the structure of gangs, the organizations, they turned it to gangs, was created. It was for us to police our own community, for we won't have to
Yeah.
call racist cops to our house, you know, not saying like we said earlier, we're not calling all cops bad because it's evil lurks and get into everything. Evil got in these organizations,
Yes.
divided them up. You know, it's no structure out there. People are living wild. You know, they
Yeah.
don't even know our neighborhood, the black community is the only community that like it's nighttime right now that anybody can just walk through it without nobody asking them no question.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If me or you right now walk through Little Village, Cicero, or any of those other neighborhoods where it's majority another race of people, somebody gonna stop whether they friendly or evil and
Yeah.
question our doing about that. If they friendly, they're gonna approach us on a conversation, trying to figure out what we're doing in their community. And if it's a good reason why we're in there, they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell us be safe and hurry up and get up out of there. You know, they're gonna know what we have to do. We don't question nobody in our neighborhood because we only looking for our so-called ops. And
Yeah.
like you said earlier, our real ops is evil. And we don't even know that we built these groups to protect one another. These groups weren't meant for evil. Now they got all the cliques out here thinking that's what they stand for: drug dealing, killing, and
Yeah.
you know, doing dumb stuff in the communities. And that's not
That's
even
just,
what it's about. A lot of them don't even know laws and policy, but all of them out there screaming on chief this, on chief that, and that ain't even what your chief represented, man. And you don't
absolutely.
even know it. So I mean,
Absolutely. And I definitely, I feel like, and it's sad to say, I feel like we need them organizations back in the
yeah,
fact.
we need them back organized though. We need them back organized.
We need them in the communities, and we need them to work with the aldermen. We need the Larry Hoovers, we need the Fords, we need the Big Meaches. We need them out here. I mean, I'm not for the gang violence, killing one another, none of that. I'm about them, bringing order to find a way, a different way, a different approach to teach them how to be men, to teach them how to be
Exactly.
women, because sometimes you gotta meet them where they are, where what I'm saying, on their level. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what we need. We need some more people who were once in the streets or still in the streets or whoever, somebody to step up and say, look, you ain't gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta prove nothing to Bobo. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta prove nothing that you know what I'm saying, that you could get back at him and to shoot him up, shoot his house up, to for what? To say, oh, you
Negotiate and make peace no more.
killed some innocent people. You don't get no brownie points for killing innocent people. You are retarded. And if nobody here to tell you, I'm here to tell you, you are not getting brownie points back killing innocent people. And then at the end of the day too, and I'm done. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, like, you got to stand before God. That's forget the judge. You know what I'm saying? That's on 26 California.
That's the
He
real judge.
for
Yeah.
real. You got to stand before the real judge. And ain't no coming out of that prison. Once you get there, once you get in that heat, once you get them chains and that ball of chain on your hands and your feet, that's eternity. So people, you gotta really make a conscious decision. Share this when y'all get it. Share this to the young people. Share this to the old, whoever need to hear this, or pass the seat on. Let people know you ain't gotta do this. We gotta step up. We can't depend on the government. We can't depend on even, it's sad to say certain organizations to be a light. You know what I'm saying? We gotta just start from somewhere.
Yeah, we
You
got to
know?
do it. And like I say, we are easily manipulated, trolling and doing what they want us to do. We easily divided, and it starts with people would do anything for money, and then
Yeah,
you always hear the young guy or the rapper say, "Well, we were hungry. We did it to survive, to feed my family." I mean, come on, you done took a life for 5 bands, 10 bands, 20 bands. How hungry are your fam? Is your family? And then the first thing you go out and buy is clothes, jewelry, shoes, a car, and then all that's gone. And then you go out and buy your guns, shoot up the op block, and you in jail, and now your family back in the same spot they in. I mean, think about some of the decisions and choices you make, and it's like I say, Lady T, it's kind of like by design, and we like a lot of us fall into the trap. Look at the mainstream music these
yeah,
are listening to now. Every video, it's a group of dudes throwing up gang signs, toting guns and stuff. They making it like
yeah,
that's the new norm and stuff. I
yeah,
mean, you see
absolutely.
the murder rate, this guy family, Julio Fulio, that happened in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah,
You looking
yeah,
at the songs, all his songs he was talking about, those was real people. He was talking about real ops that he bodied. And I was just wondering, he's dead now, R.I.P. Shout, my condolences go out to his family, but I'm just wondering, why was he still on the street? He done named all the ops he done killed in the song and was still out to kill
yeah.
more people, I guess. I mean,
Because with the industry, we could go deep with that.
yeah,
A lot of
you
people,
know,
you know, a lot of people be, that's in the industry be set up. It's all set up.
yeah,
It's a setup for failure. They wanna let me say this to my culture. I mean, and to whoever whatever culture that will see this, but I'm speaking to our people right now.
right.
The whole objective is for us to be extinct.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Just
why
us
you think
related to
they
this mankind period. Just look at even just some of these rock and roll songs and us. Evil was just Roman, it got
yeah,
racist going on. It got a lot of confusion in the black community, but it's a lot of whites, Latinos, and stuff going through the same thing. It's just our stuff be televised a lot.
absolutely. Yeah. It's true. Theirs are definitely in a different form, but it's what I mean by us. It's us that's killing us. You rarely hear a situation in a predominantly Caucasian neighborhood that they pulled up on their op and they killed their op. You know what I'm saying? Like if they kill one thing I can't say about other, and I don't want to glorify. I'm not glorifying it, but I'm just saying you really don't hear about that. I'm saying our community because that's all you hear.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you hear on the news, and this been going on since the '60s on
Yeah,
to now.
exactly. Since Lincoln freed the slave, where it was going, it was going on through slavery, but since Lincoln freed the slaves, and like I say, these politicians really want our votes and stuff. They could investigate a lot of crimes, especially when these officers finally get caught in it. All they got to do is backtrack their record because they don't want to do that. They don't want to make it public because most of them they know already. And this what brings me to this subject. The young lady delivering mail was also killed here in Chicago in the Wild Honey.
Yes.
This
Condolences
week,
to
and that
that
was
to
so sad.
her.
But here's the thing: in that situation, they got a $250,000 reward out for the suspects in that case. 9 times out of 10, what color is they're going to be and who they were, young misled people. People can't even work innocently. But see, it's stuff like that they put up in front of us that it could have been some evil person, law enforcement or something did that because then they put the
Yeah,
$250,000 reward out on there to throw the attention off what happened downstate and stuff. See
yeah,
stuff easily
absolutely.
like that can be get done in our community and get away with it because
Yeah,
y'all out there acting a fool and acting crazy and stuff out here. So
yeah.
anybody can come through here and do anything, and what it'll look like, gang related or some
And you
random
know what?
robbery or something in the neighborhood.
To be honest, I don't even believe that half of the things
Mm-hmm.
that go on in Chicago be gang related
Um,
or be Related. I really do believe that certain people in high positions is doing a lot of things that they got no business doing. And God in the end is gonna be exposed. You know, everything that's in the dark gonna eventually come to light. My thing is just for the people just stay out the way, you know, take care of your family, love your kids, love your mama, you know, your daddy, your family, and try to make the best of the life that you have left because you only get one opportunity to do what it is that God called you to do. And once that's over, it's over.
Exactly. Live your best life. And on that note, we're going to pause for some words from our sponsor and we shall return after these messages.
Know Thyself by Joshua Bersutai. There are times where we feel everything is dull. We feel like everything is gray. This is because you do not know yourself. You will find your way to live life each and every day. Know yourself. Know your role. Find your gift. It can take days, months, years to find yourself, but you must keep searching. Only time will tell. But the real you is inside you. That person is the positive side of you. You live for you. You write your own rules. You write your own praises. We all go through this. But know thyself. Let love guide you home. Know yourself. How this young lady changed from an ordinary lady to Lady Aphrodite in 1 year. Her last event she threw didn't get the feedback she would have liked, but this year's event was special. Can't just be ordinary. This was a special milestone in her life. So to be great, she did what all the greats do, high greatness. Blessed with Success Entertainment. Let us plan out, create, and host your special moments and parties and your events, and you'll be able to tell your own success story. Blessed with Success Entertainment. We're not just ordinary. We go above and beyond, without boundaries, without measurement. Dear God, thank you for the gift of family and friends. Bless everyone, for they deserve all the goodness you have given to me. May the love that binds us only grow stronger as we fulfill the destiny you have laid out for us. Protect us against any and all problems we may encounter in the future. Give us strength to overcome all of the difficulties that we are dealing with now. Heavenly Father, bless us, Lord. In your name I pray. Amen.
All right, everybody, welcome back to It's A Chicago Vibe. Me and Lady T here having an interesting conversation. You know, the topic is, when is there going to be justice for us? Everybody want us to vote for us, which brings us to our next discussion. We're going to talk a little politics right now. Basically, it's an important election coming up, so they say. I hear a lot of people saying they ain't voting at all. Some people team Trump, some definitely the bandwagon for the Democrats then really shot high since Biden has stepped down and Kamala Harris is now running. I just want, what's your thoughts on this whole Trump and Harris thing, Lady T?
Well, I have to do a little more research on what's her name, Camille, right?
Yeah, Camille Harris. I call her vice president.
I mean, she was on the Democratic Party for how many years now? 4 years, yeah. and ain't done nothing. And I just feel like the next 4 years she ain't gonna do nothing.
And a lot of people saying she's in the background, she's the vice president. It's gonna be some people saying that you're not gonna see.
Nah.
Okay. Those are people that's easily manipulated. Go ahead.
I really believe that Trump is gonna come in this office and run it like a business. We don't need yes, Trump may be a little, little graphic and little hood. He got some hood in him, but that's what this country needs. One thing that I do respect about Trump is that he acknowledged God. He's been acknowledging the Lord. He acknowledges Christ as Lord, his Lord and Savior.
In the 80s, you could hear that man saying this too.
Absolutely. And then he said, let's make America great again, because their whole agenda, the Democratic Party agenda, is to remove Christ, remove religion, and make this one situation. I'm not going to get into that, but y'all know what it is. Do your research.
Mhm.
And so I want to say this too. You guys, I want to say to everybody, get prepared for, because if Trump do win, you already know they're gonna try to do another pandemic. That's what they did on him last
Yeah,
time.
exactly. They never let that man get a chance to do his president job because they kept bringing up his taxes. They hit us with
So
the pandemic. And go ahead, Lady T. I'm sorry.
I did, I gotta do my research. I'm not gonna say the name of the pandemic because I don't want nobody coming knocking on my door. But if you do your research, pandemic for 2025, it's a pandemic. It started with an S. That's all I'm gonna say. They already got it ready in effect. It's supposed to be between 2005 to
So
2008. So what I will say to you guys, prepare, um, you know, get your tissue, your alcohol, prepare
start
for,
stocking up.
start stocking up your food, all non-perishable items, your rice, your beans, you know what I'm saying, things that you could cook, you could cook without a stove. We don't know what the, get a generator. That's another thing. Get a generator.
Exactly,
One,
because
two.
everything you saying is true, but I don't think it's gonna be a pandemic. You need to still get all that because I think they done just placed the card where I don't even think Trump's gonna win now. I think it's actually gonna be Miss Harris. And the
I
reason
believe
why I
Trump
say
is.
that is
I
because
believe Trump is going to win.
I'm seeing so many videos from her now. I mean, like I say, people been following Trump. Trump just been Trump. He been a money getter, go getter since I could just remember him way back in the 80s, young. Yeah, as a young kid, people look up Donald Trump, Donald Trump. He always was this guy. I never heard no racist thing about him until he ran for president. That's when all of a sudden he became a racist and stuff. But I saw him on multiple pictures with black people.
Right. All the artists, rappers, and
I
all
haven't
of that.
seen Biden and Kamala Harris with nobody like that. But they say
I'm
she
the
with
reason
theirs and
why they
stuff.
the reason why they don't want Trump in there because Trump is standing on what the word of God.
He's
Trump
at
is standing
exactly.
on no abortion. Trump is standing on not. I mean, sorry, LGBT, ABC, the EFG, a community. He's coming against everything that God is coming against, and
Right.
if that's
Yeah.
the way God wanted, it is
Word of
what it
God.
is.
Exactly. And
You know, no judgment. I'm not God, but if God put that man in position, which I believe Trump will be the president for 2025.
because I see Kamala Harris
I mean,
starting
for
to do. I see, I
2025.
see, I see destruction coming. You know, if that lady,
If she become president, Jesus coming back.
yeah, I can see the one. That's what it's looked like gonna happen because, like I say, I saw videos with her. She doing her Megan Thee Stallion and then she's dancing the hip hop tracks now, trying to get the sister girls on her side. Like I say, we're easily manipulated now as a people. You know, I like Bill Clinton when he was in office. All he had to do was
Another
say he
thing,
spoke
what y'all
people.
better do, go get y'all research for you
You know,
men and women that have been convicted. She was a part of the Bill Clinton administration when they was doing the 3-strike rule. She
yeah.
was a prosecutor. Do y'all research.
I say
Y'all want
some
y'all
people
kids to
don't
come
do
home.
research though, Lady T. They hear what they want to hear bad about one person, and they just that's all it
Go
takes
to
is one incident, and a person can ruin. That's why I say I try to always make good first impressions, and I try to
yeah.
live what I say and stuff because they're
So
wrong.
I'm just saying to the people, do y'all research about whoever you pick. I'm not saying for you to pick Trump. I'm not saying you to pick her. Pick who you feel,
Yeah.
and what whoever you pick will determine how your children and my children and everybody else's children will live and grandchildren. So
Yeah,
just
exactly.
have an open mind and stand on the standards of God. You know what I mean? Stand on the standards of God, and that's how you choose. But God already got it. It's already done. It's already done. So I this is my personal opinion. I believe Trump will win for 2025 to 2028. Now, who comes after that, we don't know. And
Just though
just
we
be
need a change,
prepared. Just be
especially
prepared.
with us, the people of our color, because I mean, next week it could be me or you. It could be somebody we know. You know, same
Yeah.
thing happen. We got people. I was just hearing people in the stores that I was in today talking about this incident about Miss Sonya. You know,
Yeah.
they scared to even like call. I heard one lady say, if something happened, like a burglar or something in her house, when she called the police, she gonna tell them she's black. Can you please send only black officers? I mean,
Wow.
you have to come to another stuff like that, but
And it's the truth. And you know what?
it should be
I
like
just
how, I didn't know this. The teachers, they had to like stay a certain area to be like. I knew this lady. She was a teacher. She was a Chicago teacher, but they bought a nice house, and this was years ago. I want to say in like South Hollis or something. But she still had to use her old address till they finally caught up with her because they couldn't be a teacher. I mean, it should be something like that in our communities and stuff like that because
yeah,
it's just entirely too many other race officers and stuff. It's too easily, like I say, we let too many different people in our community, and that's why now we complaining about them flooding the migrants up in here. But we've been letting any and everybody in our communities without asking
absolutely.
them a question. But we could see the ops and stuff when they slide through and stuff, but can't even see your real ops, which is evil, sitting there watching you
Absolutely.
sometimes talk and help your own opposite, the real opposition, but
Absolutely.
we got
I
to learn, man. We need to do better as a people. Like you say, do research on who you vote for if you do decide to vote.
mhm.
You do research. Don't just because a person seem cool to say something cool or they tell you this guy evil and bad, don't do no stuff like that. Do your own thorough research. Just because your home girl is voting for somebody, do your own research,
Mhm.
Check a person out, see what they all about. And I mean, dig deep, see what they have done before they in the position that they is in. Look at their current position, what they was in. And it'll surprise you on what some people have done and said over the past years and stuff. And you can
Yeah,
vote for them. And then you get shocked when they do get elected. You got elected, they don't even pay you no mind or none. We need to do better as a group of people. Pay attention to who we let in our community. Pay attention to the aldermen we get as well, because
absolutely.
a lot of stuff we control ourselves because we're easily manipulated is why things happen
Mhm.
to us. I'm gonna just say that.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. We definitely gotta you gotta definitely this we living in a time and an hour where we have to like be prayed up for real and ask God to flood us with the spirit of discernment because people the Bible says that um the enemy will come and deceive the very elect, and the elect are the ones that's chosen by God because everything that look like good, everything that shine like gold is not gold.
Yeah,
So
true.
we have to just get closer to God, and the more you get closer to him and you get seek his face and his word, he'll guide us. He said he'll never leave us, he'll never forsake us. I mean, you could be in the valley, the pits, wherever, he's gonna be with you. So
Exactly.
just trust him. That's all I can say is trust the
And,
Lord.
and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna piggyback on what you said. And if you prayed up, it's harder for you to get manipulated because you prayed up,
Absolutely.
you're praying for protection from this. Because you got to think, when I'm telling you to do your research on a person, the evil have already done this research on you. So it know how to
Hmm.
manipulate your mind and stuff like that. Know
Yeah,
what you like. Oh, she like Megan Thee Stallion. Let me make me a TikTok and dance to Megan Thee Stallion. Then I
absolutely.
could trick you into voting for me. The devil does.
It's funny. Yeah.
He know
He
what you
knows what
looking
he
for.
like,
Take it from time.
but God has the last say so, and I really believe
Exactly.
that Trump will definitely they tried, but it didn't work, and I feel like God hand is on them. And now what he do as a man, God would deal with him. But I do believe that God hand is on him, and I do believe to get us to where we need to do to set us up in the right position is God has his last say. So I don't really want to get much on it, but I really believe that Trump will be president for 2025.
And I'm gonna say this to whoever does this. If you really want to become and win office up in here, free some of these real street leaders and watch how many people stand behind you. If you really want to do something for our community and help protect us,
And see,
real
Trump was
leadership
doing
back
that.
up in here.
He helped release a lot of people in jail.
Yeah. And he was about to release the main important people. People think he didn't release him, but when he was getting ready to, when Kanye West, when there was having the meeting and stuff with them,
Yeah.
they started throwing confusion about his taxes and stuff again. Throwing just a lot. I think the pandemic and stuff popped up on us and stuff.
Yeah.
He didn't release him. He had
So we
to
have to pray for Donald Trump because I really do believe that God is on him. I'm not saying that he's a holy roller, but God used who's usable, just like the enemy used. I can't say that. No, I'm gonna say that it's preachers that God allowed to work for the sake of His people, but God fired them a long time ago. That's for another show.
well, on that note, we gonna wrap things up for the day. Had a nice show. Tune in. We're gonna be streaming on all. This episode should be on all major platforms and stuff.
Absolutely.
This episode. So, man, just tune in, tell a friend. This show gonna grow bigger and bigger, and we're gonna get better and better at what we do. So it's a Chicago Vibe. We're open-minded show to any topic. We ain't ducking and dodging none. We agree or disagree. We might, because me and Lady T have different opinions about a lot of things. So that's the whole part of being good people. You listen, you negotiate. You just don't go out and kill somebody because you don't like what they don't like. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
On that note, Lady T, you know the business. Hit the people with the word of affirmation for this.
Man, the words of affirmation today is to live, laugh, and love. Tomorrow is not promised to none of us. You gotta live today like it's your best day. Never give up on your purpose. Never give up on what God put in you. It's never too late to do what God has called you to do. I am your girl, Lady T. Marie with Itz A Chicago Vibe. I'm sending love to the world and hugs to the thugs.
DJ Mr. Success.
Life and laugh. And my motto, when you're with Mr. Success, you always have a ball. If I can't tell the truth, it's nothing at all. Mr. Success bringing pleasure, no stress. Until next time, y'all, peace.
Peace out.
C-H-I-C-A-G-O, let's go, 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 C-H-I-C-A-G-O,